Hi, today we are discussing about repository workflow manager. So here first open workflow manager, power center workflow manager. So using workflow manager, we are preparing sessions and workflows. We are executing the mappings which we created in designer window. So means here we are passing data from source to target. In between we applied so many transmission. So based on the transmission it will filter the data. Finally it will load the data into the target. So from workflow manager we can schedule the jobs, we can send the emails, and we can set the timers. So many options we have from here. So first we'll see how we are creating the sessions and workflows, and how we are executing the sessions, and how we are connecting to the database to retrieve the data and to load the data into the targets. So in the designer already we created the mapping on EMP table. In that mapping we are loading the data from source EMP to target EMP. We are not applied any transmission in between. We are not applied any logics there. Just we are migrating data from source EMP to the target EMP. Connect to the repository first. So same thing, administrator is super user here. Connect to the repository. So we have two folders. In dev folder we created that mapping. So here we have integration service. On repository we created one integration service. Using this integration service, the client request will send into the repository database. So integration service is a mediator here to send the client request to the repository database. Okay, so same way, go to tools, you will get all the options here: task developer, workflow designer, and workload designer. In the task developer we are creating the sessions and we are assigning the connections based on the source and target type. We are preparing the connections, like if it is a file we are mentioning the path, or if it is a relational database we are creating the connections. So based on the source and target database type we are preparing the connections to retrieve the data and to load the data. And next, workflow designer. So like this we have so many sessions in the real time. Like in real time in designer we are preparing multiple mappings, like 50, 100, 200, based on the project size, based on the project requirements. For each and every mapping we are preparing the sessions. Using sessions only we can read the data, we can load the data into the target. In designer just we prepare the code. From session we are loading the data into the target. So like this we have so many mappings. We have to create so many sessions for each and every mapping. Sometimes we have dependencies also. Okay, for example, one doctor is there. So doctor is a contact here. So I am maintaining doctor related information in the contact. For doctor related address I am maintaining another table. I created another table, address. For communication details to the doctor I am created one more table. Okay, like fax, phone number, email address, like that. So totally I have 3 tables. On contact, the 2 dependency objects are communications and address. If the particular contact is available in the database, then only we are loading related communication details and related address related details. So here the contact is a parent object. So if the parent ID is present, then only we can load the data. So dependencies we have. For contact we are preparing one mapping, for address we preparing one mapping, for communication. So for 3 mappings we have to prepare 3 sessions. So for 3 sessions, first we need to run first session 1 contact. After first session is successfully completed, then only we have to run the second 2 sessions, because second 2 sessions are the dependency sessions. So to design this flow, the dependency flow, to execute the flow, we have to prepare workflow designer. So workflow designer we will discuss in the next class. It's an advanced concept again here. Other than that, we have another advanced concepts also. So now I'm connecting to the task developer. Here I'm creating one session. Go to task, create. Same way as indicates session, source, target, and this is basic load. Click on create. So we are creating this session on top of the mapping. Now we have only one mapping in the designer. So just select this, click on OK. Done. So edit this. In mapping, you have source and target. So here you have to give the source connection and target connection. Using this connection, it will connect to the database. To import the data means to pass the data from source to target. Okay, so first we need to prepare the connection. Go to connection tab in menu, click on relational. So here select Oracle. This is Oracle database, right? Click on new. We have to prepare 2 connections, or now we used only Scott, right? So we can use only single connections for Scott user. So if for example if source user is different, target user is different, then you have to prepare 2 connections. Now we have only one user, right? Scott. Source and target both are available in same user. Okay, so this is Scott connection. The username is here Scott, the password is Tiger, and the database name is Oracle DB. Click on OK. Oh, okay, connection is ready. Edit, go to mapping. So here select source, edit this arrow key, you will get this connections here. Click on OK. For target also same. Select target, go to relational, arrow key, Scott. So here you have target load type bulk to normal changes. So bulk load it will not accept if you have any constraints, any indexes on the target, it will not support to load bulk data at a time. So normal load means record by record it will load. So other options also we have, we'll discuss in the advanced clauses. So now just we created the connection, we add that connection to the source and target. Apply. Okay. Right click on this session, validate, go to repository, save. So session is ready, then create a workflow. Go to workflow designer, same menu will change, click on workflow, create. So here also we have naming conventions, W or WF, source and target. This is basic load. So here you have integration service. If you want to change into another integration service, just click on here. You will get available integration service which we created on this repository. Just select other integration service to execute these flows. So now we create a workflow. This is the workflow. Just drag and drop the session from here to here. Go to task, link task, from workflow to session. Again go to workflow, validate, go to repository, save. So we created the session, we created the connection, we mapped the connection with the session for the source and target. After that, we created the workflow and we joined with the session. Now our coding part is completely completed. So we created mapping, session, workflow. So now this is ready to execution. Go to workflow, click on start workflow. When you're starting this workflow, automatically the mapping workflow monitor will open. In that workflow monitor, you will get the statistics of the source and target. How many records are processed, how many records you got in the target. If you have any rejected records, it will show the rejected records, and each and every log information it will give in detail in session log. The start time, end time, records in the source, successful records in the source, successful records in the target. If you have any errors, it will show what are the errors we have, why it is failed. Everything we can get from session log. Okay, we'll see. Go to workflow and start workflow. It will open that monitor window. We'll see how we can check the source and target statistics. Okay, it's open, right? Maximize this. So here you have different views, task view, and this is one more view. So it started on 7 something, still it's running. So the task view, okay, in progress it will show, the start time it will show, and the end time, still it's running. So it succeeded. See, the start time 7:42:51, the end time 7:42:52. Okay, so sorry, this is the both the start times of workflow and session. These are the end times. 7:43:21 the completion time. Okay, so here we got 14 records in the source and 14 records in the targets. Okay, this is the mapping we used in this session. This is the node we used, and this is the integration service we used to run this session. So here we'll get in details like applied rows in target, applied rows in source, effective rows in the target table and source table. There is no rejected records, 0 records, throughputs for seconds. Okay, the byte throughput per second. There is no errors or encounter. This is the session log. You will get all in detailed information how the process will completed and what are the things it did. The entire details you can check here. So this is very helpful when you are debugging the defects. This is very helpful. So now we got records, right? We can check in the database. So select star from EMP TGT. So 14 records we have. Okay, so previously there is no data because that is a new table. Now we executed the mapping, so that's why we got 14 records. In sources also we got we have 14 records only. Select star from EMP. So 14 records. So 14 records we got in the target because this is the basic load. We not applied any conditions or anything there. Just we loaded direct data into the target. So one more thing, you can check the data from designer also. Target data, not source data. We can check from designer also. Right click, preview data. So connect to the Scott user, Tiger. So 14 records, up to 500 records we can check from here. So above 500, if you want to check, just go to the database and check. 501, just I'm entering 1 to 500 we can show. Okay, so this is the basic load. So after this class, just we are applying the transmission after source qualifier. So based on the different scenarios, we are selecting different transmission to apply filter condition to add that like a bonus or discounts. If you want to check whether the record is already loaded or not in the target, if you want to join any records, if you want to sort any records. So different scenarios we have. Based on that scenario, we are selecting different transmission to update the targets or to filter the records, so to add some values into the columns. So different scenarios we are discussing, we can discuss different transmissions. So but this is the basic mapping to load the source data into the target. So these are the total designer client objects like a repository manager, designer, workflow manager, and monitor. So these are the 4 client tools we have in the client side. The developer will start the work from the designer. So from here we are importing the sources and targets, we are preparing the mappings. So after creation of the mappings, just we are preparing the sessions and workflows. From sessions we are executing the source data into the targets. So this is the common process for all the mappings. Just we are applying the logics based on the transmission. We are changing the rules and everything. So in the next class we'll see what are the transmissions we have and how we are applying the transmission in the designer window. Thank you.